Yes, it's 10 o'clock. Good. Thank you for attending our presentation on meditations. Our topic for today's meditation is hardship. Hardship is a condition that is difficult to endure. We are told the economy is improving, but if you walked through downtown Vancouver, Washington, or downtown Portland, Oregon, you'll be surprised at the number of homeless people. It seems to be increasing. I do not know whether it was because of a Saturday morning or because it was raining, but whatever it is, our hearts go to the homeless and to all people who are experiencing one form of hardship or another. Let us observe a moment of silence in order to attain a state of peace. Now let us meditate on hardship. Let us remember those experiencing hardship right now. Let us send our love to console and to enrich them. Now reflect on your present hardship. In other words, if you're experiencing hardship right now, reflect on it. What is it? Feel the pain of losing a loved one, the pain of poverty, the pain of helplessness, and the pain of failure. Now dismiss all that pain and imagine that you have never experienced any hardships and remain in that mode. Next, recall a time you were joyful. Feel the joy. The joy of giving birth to a baby. The joy of riches. The joy of hope. And the joy of success. Now dismiss all that joy and imagine that you have never experienced any joy and remain in that mode. What have you learned? Hardship is a condition that is difficult to endure. But hardship is not a permanent condition. My hardship has given me an opportunity to rebuild my life. And I am grateful for a second chance. Amen. Let us read from the Universal Holy Book, the second book of Psalms, chapter 16, verses 1 to 4, page 259. The second book of Psalms, chapter 16, verses 1 to 4, on page 259. And that is surrender. surrender. Work and live as an act of offering to achieve immortal frame and complete satisfaction of having lived a successful life. Remember, you are the child of immortality, and that all life is but an offering. Never forget that the nectar honey of the flower of mercy is for those who sacrifice, and the life offered is the life accepted. Let the sacred flame of divine fire shine brightly in your soul. Amen. Thank you for joining us, and we are grateful for your continued support. For transcripts and DVD copies of this presentation, please visit our website at unison.org. I encourage you to take advantage of our newsletter. That is the Living Well newsletter. The weekly newsletter contains this week's presentation as well as other resources. Please find out more about the Living Well newsletter at unison.org. Thank you. Our topic for today's discussion is hardship. It is obvious that many people are having one form of hardship or another. Just walk through downtown Portland or Vancouver, as I said earlier. If it is not homelessness, it could be unemployment, or financial problems, or sickness, or heartache, and many other circumstances that sometimes make our lives seem unbearable. And in the midst of these, we feel alone, we feel lost, we are stuck in life to the extent that we can't help but ask, why me? But you know that why me does not look for a solution to the problem. It does not even look at the problem, let alone reflect on it. In effect, why me further complicates the problem. Now let us assume that you are having hard times from no fault of yours. You had a reputable job and you were a model employee. But because of hard times, cutbacks by your company, you were laid off. And now further suppose that you've been receiving unemployment, but now your unemployment checks, benefits are no more. In other words, you're on your own. Still without a job. Let me also add that you are loving and compassionate, and you lived a great religious and spiritual life. So with all this going on in your life, you cannot make sense of what is happening to you. Fortunately, many people have walked the path of hardship before us, and this is what they said. Sophocles, there is no success without hardship. Elias A. Ford, every hardship, every joy, every temptation is a challenge of the spirit, that the human soul may prove itself. H.W. Beecher, affliction comes to us all not to make us sad, but sober. Not to make us sorry, but wise. Not to make us despondent, but by its darkness to refresh us, as the night refreshes the day. Not to impoverish, but to enrich us, as the plow enriches the field. To multiply our joy as the seed by planting is multiplied 1,000-fold. Samuel smiles. The very greatest things, great thoughts, discoveries, inventions, have usually been nurtured in hardship, often pondered over in sorrow, and at length established with difficulty. Ray Smith. Never be afraid to fall apart, because it is an opportunity to rebuild yourself the way you wish had been all along. An opportunity to rebuild yourself. Now the lesson. What are we learning from all these quotes? The most important quote for me is that of H.W. Beecher. That affliction comes to us all not to make us sad, but sober. You know the rest. No doubt, a good person, know that you are a good person, and you have not hurt anyone. But this will not shield you from experiencing hardship, according to Adi Granat of Sikhism. You may be a good person, and you have done everything right, but that will not shield you from hardship, according to Adi Grant of Sikhism. Here is the quote. Farid, I thought I alone had sorrow. Sorrow is spread all over the whole world. From a rooftop, I saw every home engulfed in sorrow flames. So you are not alone. And what does that teach us? And Elias Afford says, every hardship, every joy, every temptation is a challenge of the spirit, that the human soul may prove itself. Some have said that the main purpose of life is to gain experience, and that the hardships we experience make us stronger, to enable us to live well and to guide future generations. Okay, what is our hope? I can hear someone ask, I cannot even take care of myself. What is my hope of leading the way for future generations? In other words, what is our hope on this planet? Do we really have any hope? Many believe we have hope, and some know that hope lives with us at all times. So our challenge is to open our eyes to see hope all around us. Actually, not just hope, but love, compassion, and generosity. All these are all around us. Have you ever looked for a book with no knowledge if such book exists or not, but being led straight to where to find the book? Have you ever wanted something so badly, but without the resources to acquire it, and later meeting a total stranger to satisfy the need? Have you ever found yourself in a difficult situation and prayed for deliverance, and your prayer was instantly answered? Have you ever run out of money? And meeting someone who assured you that as long as he and his family had something to eat, you would also have something to eat. Have you ever fallen into hard times and unable to pay your rent, but the landlord let you pay only half of the rent for as long as you desire? Have you ever had a difficult delivery but prayed for intervention and your prayer was instantly answered? Have you ever lost your keys in the bay with no hope of even getting them back, but a professional diver comes along to your rescue without even charging you a penny? The truth is that universal love cares for you, and you're not alone on this journey. I believe some of you feel that you are alone, more so when you consider some of the choices you have made in life in the past. You probably think that you deserve what is happening to you in your life because of some of those choices. But the truth is that universal love does not count against you, does not count anything against you. Universal love is here to love, to understand, to forgive, to prosper, and to lead. However, not many people are aware of the activities of universal love, because we are trained to be outer directed instead of being inner directed. But if you reflect on your past experiences, you might remember situations in which you felt like something or someone was looking out for you. Further, if you reflect on your life at the time you had those experiences, you would recall that you experienced them not because you were perfect, or you were a citizen of a blessed nation, or you believed in a loving God, or you descended from a blessed race of people. You were none of those. Yet, you experienced the love of the universe. These moments, which I call shining or miraculous moments, are part of life. And they remind us that we live in a rich, friendly, generous, loving, caring, protecting, and guiding universe. I want you to know that whatever difficulties you might be facing right now, help is on the way. Whatever dreams you might have for the future, help is on the way. Whatever resources you might need to accomplish your dreams, help is on the way. Whatever loss you might be experiencing at the moment, you are not alone. And whatever difficult situation you might find yourself, help is on the way. The universe loves you, and the most important part of this love is that there are no requirements. There are no requirements. Just the way you are. But you do not have to take my word for it. There are more qualified people who spent their whole life thinking about what it means to be alive. And this is what they said. From the Upanishads. Even as the radiance of the sun shines everywhere in space, so does the glory of God rule over all his creation. In the unfolding of his own nature, he makes all things blossom into flower and fruit. You've heard it from the seers of the Upanishads, that in the unfolding of his own nature, he makes all things blossom into flower and fruit. What does that mean? It means that you are covered in God's glory and there are no requirements. As long as you live in this world with your beliefs, race, nationality, or wrong choices, you are covered because universal love makes all things blossom into flower and fruit. The Tao Te Ching teaches the same truth. No culture is ignorant of the generosity of the universe. Each culture wrote about it in isolation. And when we compare their writings, we find that they are saying the same thing. According to the Tao Te Ching, the Tao is the asylum of all things, the good man's treasure, the bad man's last resort. That is right on target. Because the good man who works with love treasures his relationship with universal love. The bad man, on the other hand, might be afraid because of the choices he has made in the past. But when he musters the courage and approaches the universe, he is welcomed with open arms. Further, in the Gospel of Thomas, the disciples of Jesus asked Jesus when the kingdom would come. They were probably thinking that their lives would change when the kingdom comes. But they were surprised when he told them that the kingdom of the Father is everywhere. He, that is Jesus' disciples, said to him, "On what day will the kingdom come?" This is the quote. Jesus said, "It will not come while people watch for it. They will not say, 'Look, here it is,' or 'Look, there it is.' But the kingdom of the Father is spread out over the earth, only that men do not see it." All these quotes are pointing to the same truth, the truth of universal love. You have every right now. You have everything right now. Because the love of God is spread all over the earth. And there are no favorites. We are all partakers in universal love. Ecclesiastes 3:1-8 teaches us, Ecclesiastes, that is from the Tanakh, teaches us that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. As the seasons come and go, so also are our circumstances. But our circumstances do not define us. Unemployment, employment, failure, success, and all the pairs of opposites come and go. Our challenge is not to dwell on the circumstances, but to look for that which makes life worth living. What makes life worth living for you may be your children, your pet, your spouse, your dance, your speeches, or your music. And in the words of Dr. Joel Akande, let no failure, disappointment, death, or despair bow down your heads. When you experience any of these, take rest, reflect, and find a way around them. Draw strength from your pain and pursue your dreams until you reach glory and happiness. Join us next time for another presentation and meditations Thank you for listening, and may you experience cosmic peace in the name of love, the earth, and the universe. Amen. Meditations is sponsored by Unism. Unism, one love, one planet, one people. For more information on this presentation, please visit unism.org. Thank you.